Hello, everyone. This is Frogman, and welcome back to Manufactio. This is going to be episode number 8. And this is going to be episode number 8 after I tried to record episode number 8 and lost all of the video for whatever reason. My recording software decided not to record what I built, so I guess we can go back through and walk through and see what I built. In the last episode, we got the pollution pumps up and working. So we can go outside. And yes, we'll talk about the framiness here in a second. I've been kind of just moving them around, catching up the big patches, and trying to just make sure that there's nothing that's going to cause any more polluted earth because I really don't want to deal with them stinking aliens. Go over here. Oh, come on. Yeah, I'm at that point. I was planning on trying to build a circuit making factory right here so that I could do greens and reds and well, it ended up being so laggy that I couldn't even get through to the finish point of actually building any of the machines. And the reason why is because of these things. I unlocked the ability to craft the fast conveyors. And with the fast conveyors comes the ability to craft these conveyor belts. They're just a shapeless craft between the two. And unfortunately, the magnetic craft conveyor belts, which it is explained, I believe, hopefully, in here, right here. I don't even think it says anything in here, but it really should say that they are very, very, very resource intensive. And the reason why they're very, very resource intensive is even though they basically show items, like I said, even though they back stuff, which is wonderful, all of the items on those belts are rendered. And so every single one of the items on the belts acts like an entity just floating around in the world. So if you are not careful, you can have thousands and thousands of entities laying around in the world. So before this, hang on a minute. What is it? F3A, and do that again. Come on, load the chunk back in. Anyhow, basically what happens is these things, it's like I said, it's a pile of stuff just sitting here. So magnetic craft belts have an inventory. They have 8 inventory slots, and each one of those inventory slots can hold anywhere from 1 item to 64. So the trick is to try to get it to where it's only putting 1 item per slot, which you can do with hoppers and you can do with the bottoms of the silos. So what I have done in here for right now is right up here is the iron silo and the copper silo. So I have the iron silo delivering to this belt that runs all the way down along the back of the plate presses. It goes around the corner, and these are the plate into steel presses. And as you notice, I have expanded. I've removed the copper. I now have lots of gear presses going on over here, and if you notice, they're starting and stopping on their own. The reason why they're starting and stopping on their own is because I researched the redstone probe connectors. So let's go over here where it might be a little quieter. And I have my hammer. Okay, good lord. I was hoping it'd be a little quieter. Anyhow, probe connectors act like comparators for inventories, and you can put them on any side of an inventory. You can put them on a hopper, you can put them on a silo, you can put them on a chest, you can put them on anything that is readable, including, and I do believe, the IE tanks. So they're very handy because they are also redstone connectors. So if you see, it says channel receiving white, channel sending gray. Gray is the channel it's sending out a signal on, and it can receive a signal in on a white channel. So if I wanted to say, like, that's a hopper, I can send it a signal in on the white channel, and it will effectively shut the hopper off or shut the silo off, one of the two. So it's handy for doing certain things like automating or smelting. So I haven't done it yet, but we can run over here and kind of get away from the lag. What I can do, and I think we should be not running anything right now, what I can do is I can stick one of those on the bottom of one of these silos. And that thing will be able to read what the signal of the storage limit in this silo, so that when I get low on coal, I can turn a coal miner that's not there back on, and it will run and fill this up to a certain set limit that you can do with just redstone. Same thing with iron. Now, the same thing can be done for the silos in the main base. I can set up a redstone line all the way over to here. Hello, emails. And they'll come over here and be able to turn this on, which will then send ores into the smelting factory. So it's kind of handy. So anyhow, this is not all of the reason why we have so much lag. Let's see if I can get down here. This is where I spent all of the time just recently trying to get a bunch of things done. So the reason why there's a bunch of lag is because I have all of these belts running all the way down to the end of the room and then going around the corner and going back. I'm kind of taking a little bit of inspiration from Satisfactory here because this is kind of how you do the same thing in Satisfactory. I wish we had the same kind of graphics because this would not lag my world out. And for those of you wondering how you manage to do two different items on a belt, you have to do a kind of a side loading effect. You cannot put them in the same block because they will fight with each other, but you can do a block here and then a block there. So that's one way of doing that. Okay, so just to kind of recap on everything that I've done thus far, I went and built a specialty plate press in here that I can do extra stuff. It has the bar press in it right now. And that guy right here is currently making red science, which apparently is making quite a bit. I did go ahead and steal the bin from upstairs because that's not, I have enough lag in here. I don't need another belt with stuff down here. So we're currently making, again, red science, which those are almost all filled up, which is wonderful. That means there's going to be a stack in there almost. So yeah, that's all going to fill up and stop running. Ow. I can't get in there on that side. I know that. I have a inserter, or I should say an assembler right here that is crafting the regular belts. It is feeding it into this guy. This one right here is crafting inserters, and it is this inserter is putting it into this assembler, and this assembler is, of course, making green science, and this one is making green research. So we're actually back to doing that. Actually, I want a little bit more of that. Thank you. All right, now the major problem with the belts, especially with inserters, is that an inserter, see, I have 64 in here right now. I haven't cleaned this belt off, but if I grab that, I'll guarantee you there's probably more than a stack, or at least a stack of inserters sitting right here, because this thing can pick up 8 inserters or 8 items at a time until you set up for the stack grab, and then it will do an entire stack, which means it can put an entire stack in every one of these slots. Probably most of my frame issue is going to be right around in here. So it's something to pay attention to. But anyhow, we'll go back here and we'll look. This guy, this one right here is where I was making the fast conveyors. These are not bad to be wasted because I am going to be able to use them to make item ducts later. But basically what we do is we have a kind of a bus back here. Inserters grab what they need and go into here. This is the one that's making the belts. It just direct feeds into here to make the faster belts, and everything is automatically running up there. It's wonderful. This guy, again, doing what it needs to do. So this is making, what did we figure? That was making the inserters. This one right here is making green circuits, and I have a speed upgrade in that guy so he can kind of peel off of there relatively quickly. And it is putting into this chest right here where I'm going to keep a couple of stacks on hand. I have this one blacklisted so it won't pick up my spacer blocks. And I think I have the same thing here. He's whitelisted. It's just how it ended up being when I put him down. It's kind of hard to catch things when you when you lay something down. Anyhow, he's putting things onto this belt right here. And this assembler here is going to be set up to craft red circuits. So red circuits share the copper wires with the green circuits. They also need a green circuit, and they also need plastic. Well, there's not plastic right here. It's because the plastic bin is over at the other portion of the base. I am going to try to get a little bit more in this room before it absolutely dies, namely because I need to get blue science up and going. So that means I have one of the 3 things that I need crafting right now. In order to craft this, I'm going to have to get steel down here, which I'm probably going to have to hand feed, and the fluid pipes. Well, fluid pipes, I'm not going to bother even trying to do this with you guys here today, but I can craft fluid pipes in a metal former with some iron plates. So I will make a baby metal former, and it will pull off of that line and make plates, or pipes. Let me see, blue science. The next step, which then I can just shove into another assembler, since this is it's going to be another advanced assembler or a standard assembler, but either way, the next major problem is going to be building this, which we can do as such. So that means that I'm going to have to also get hardened stone down here to craft those things. Again, I will probably just do like I'm going to do with some of this and just grab a bin and slap it in front of it. Because once we get into Blue Research, or I should say we can go over here, let's grab this deal. That will allow me to unlock, or should allow me to unlock logistics. And if I remember correctly, this is probably going to be yellow or something like that, which we'll have to keep pushing forward. But in order to get him, I need to be able to unlock power distribution. And once I get power distribution unlocked, that will allow me to use HV wiring. And that will also allow me to unlock the forestry multi-farms, which means our friends get to go bye-bye. So, bye-bye. Anyhow, let's grab some stones here real quick so I can show you the very, very, very simple logic that makes the stuff upstairs work. Right up there is the chest with the probe on the side of it, and it is sending a redstone signal down to right there, and that's a power level of 6. So right now it's on because the chest upstairs is not full, and now it's off again so that we can just see that. It's going to sit there and cycle and take care of itself. All of the presses are set up like that, and just varying degrees of how much redstone I used on each. So very, very, very simple. You could do this with just redstone torches and repeaters for that matter if you really, really wanted to. Yep. Down. All right. So let's get out of the lag fest and run over here and go grab some plastic. Yeah. Oh, there's snow on it. That's nice. Okay, so I came over here a little bit ago and turned this on, and I apparently am now out of charcoal. Does that mean you're dead? Yes, that means you're dead. Wonderful. That means that I've probably been wasting stuff for a little bit, so let's shut that off. And I'll shut you off. But in that time, did I manage to get... I got a fair amount of plastic. That's not bad. How much lubricant and diesel do we have? Do I have my bucket? I do have my bucket. If you don't know, you can hold a bucket over it and it'll tell you how much is in it. So that's empty. That has just a little bit in it, so it ran for a little while, but not very much. How is this filter doing? Yeah, I guess he's okay for right now. I may have to come back and trade him out. Looks like what I need to do is go tree farming. Wonderful. But I'm going to bring this guy with me and run all the way back to the Lagfest. This is why we're going to be building a rail line over here. It's going to help deliver all of these wonderful products into the base. Hello, email. And hopefully alleviate the need to run back and forth. And a massive long run of pipe, which I really don't want to do. Okay, is everybody kind of stopped? No, you're still kind of working. How are you? You're pretty close. Are we full on both sides? Looks like it. So you're done. Cool. I'm going to go around this side because the dumb thing is I have the covered wires. I just haven't bothered to make the covered wires. Kind of dumb thing. So, all right. Everything looks to have slowed down a little bit. I actually had to go put another generator up, and I had to hook the water wheels into the base because I was running out of power. So, here goes red circuits. Hopefully. There we go. And they are incredibly slow. But there is the first red circuit. Well, the second red circuit, because I had to make one to put into the recipe slot. So, but anyhow. Automated red circuits. Yay. One major step. So, unfortunately, like I said, I was planning on sharing all of how I built the majority of this with you guys, but it didn't happen. So we're going to have to sit here and just kind of watch this. And what's interesting to note is as far as I know, this will not push into that when it empties. So we're just going to let that empty out and go on. So I guess. Oh, man, it's so bad. what I'm probably going to end up having to do is sit here and just idle and let that run until it makes all of the parts it needs to make. So how much fuel? Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Is this bad? Yeah, we've used a little bit of fuel. Not a lot, though. You have used a little bit of fuel. I have plenty of fuel, and they're up there harvesting right now. You know, it's used up some. I still have quite a bit of backlog, so awesome. Oh, get away from this area. I cannot wait. Huh. At least it's nice over here. All right, so I think as far as everything else goes, that is done its job. I need to probably keep moving these around. Oh, and like I said in last episode, you can, for that matter, not have to pump. Can I get up here without dying? Wow. Oh, man, is that bad. You can place the pollution filters over a hole, or in a hole for that matter, and any of the pollution that is in the room will slowly work its way over to this spot. It has a place to go up, so the filter will catch it. And I have that on top just so that it's not going to get snowed on, or it's not a spawning area. And I've done that for all of these. Eventually, that's how we're going to deal with the filters. And from what I remember, these filters also can emit a redstone signal based on how full they are, which means I can do the other trick, which is the block breaker trick and the block placer trick, where I can automate the placing and breaking of these filters in place, so I won't have to come up here, or I won't have to come on top of the greenhouse. So I just throw one in, and when it gets to it, throw several of them in, and when they get to where they are full, the comparator will, come on down, say, hey, break me. It'll break it, it'll bring it down to wherever it is, and then replace it with the fresh one. So pretty neat, pretty cool. I like it. Anyhow, I think basically what we're going to do now is I'm going to sit here and wait for things to craft.
Understand that.
Yes, I know you didn't understand that, you silly phone. And just let stuff accumulate so that I can craft some more things, because this is almost unplayable right now. So I guess that's where I'm at. I know it's going to be a little short, but since I kind of lost a whole bunch of footage, I figured I'd at least fill you guys in on what I did do. So I will talk to you guys later. Appreciate it. Bye.